This is Steve Litchfield reporting for allaboutSymbian.com from Symbian Smartphone Show 2006, held in London's Docklands, just a stone's throw from London City Airport. Shown here on our walk into the show. Rafe, Ewan and I tried to cover all the bases, with Rafe and Ewan covering the main press releases, the formal seminars, while I whipped around with taking photographs and doing video interviews, some of which you'll see in this podcast. Of course, the major players such as S60.com, UIQ, Symbian themselves, as well as Nokia and Sony Ericsson, playing part in their respective interface stands. They played a big part, but I wanted to try and find some interesting stories, things that caught my eye, and this is what you'll see in the next 20 minutes or so. Enjoy. Now this is perhaps the star of the 2006 smartphone show for me, the Samsung SGH i520, a snappy title, I think not. Having said that, it's very stylish. There are touch controls at the bottom surrounding a nice large navigator, and then the whole thing slides up to reveal a nicely lit keypad. The 520 runs Series 60 3rd edition Feature Pack 1, which means it's got the latest cutting-edge comms technologies, including A2DP for listening to stereo music over Bluetooth. It's also got this rather lovely boot-up sequence that you just long to turn your phone on and off just to watch it, and this fun club interface and theme that they seem to have developed, including the integration of Google search engine on the main active standby screen. Now here's a bit of a gimmick, but it's a cool gimmick. Dial in numbers on the standby screen to make a phone call, and they're writ large in a handwriting font on the main screen. That's so cool.
Alright, my name is Brian Jaquit from Sling Media, and I am here today to talk to you about the Slingbox, and actually an announcement we're making of the Sling Player mobile software, soon to be available on the Symbian operating system. So we have here today this is a Nokia N93 handset running Symbian Series 60 software, and this is streaming live television from San Mateo, California, 5,000 miles away to this handset using a network connection. This is a 3G network connection. As you can see, it's streaming the video. It's a CNBC stream, but the Slingbox really allows you to take your entire home TV experience with you anywhere.
Can it go full screen?
It cannot go full screen now. This is a little bit beta software. There's some stuff we're working on, but we will make this available before the holidays with pricing and availability to be determined and to be announced. But really, this is the basis of the Slingbox is that you take your entire living room television experience. You've got a DVR or you've got basic cable, whatever you have at home, you now can have on your mobile device.
Can we do something like change channels or change devices?
We will change. So I just tapped in channel 2,
okay,
and if it all goes as we planned, it will change the channel to channel 2. There's a little bit of latency involved with the product.
Yeah, because it's a streaming product.
It's a streaming product, and also because we're still sorting out a couple of things. Try one other thing. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So it changed it. Now we're watching KTVU. This is Fox, which is a local station in the Bay Area. So this is the morning. Right now it's about 6 a.m. I think in California. So it's the morning news and talking about all the good things out there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Antti Vihavainen. I'm from F-Secure. Running the mobile security initiative within F-Secure, and I'm available for your questions.
Okay. One thing I've noticed in the past is that Symbian and Nokia Series 60 has been vulnerable to malware and people unwittingly downloading and installing programs that damage their smartphones. But on Series 60 3rd edition, we were all promised that would go away, that the platform security would stop malware getting in.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important even to have security software on S60 3rd edition when there's no possibility of malware propagating?
Well, it has been propagating so far, even without any vulnerabilities. You used the word vulnerability. The only vulnerability that has been needed for the malware currently to spread has been the user. the user has been the one accepting the installation or receiving the file and installing the file, even with all the security warnings. And as we know, the current implementation of platform security, which in itself is very, very good, typically means that it is possible to install any application. You know, you get the security warnings, but still it is possible to just say, okay, continue.
But how is it possible for the application to have been transmitted in the first place? With the platform security in place, malware hasn't got access to the mechanisms to send messages via Bluetooth. Or
well, people have thus far already proven that they go to the internet and they search for free content.
So they're downloading cracked applications. But once a user has been infected by a Trojan in this way, they cannot unwittingly transmit it because platform security stops it.
I recently installed an application called Internet Radio to my N90, which is a 3rd edition device. And while I was doing the installation, it said there was a security warning because it was not a signed application. It was requested permission to get access to my personal data. I don't know what for, but I granted it. Yeah. I gave it permission to use messaging, network connections, and so forth. Even though it really doesn't need messaging, but it requested these rights anyway. And I granted it because I have an antivirus in my device, so I know that there's very little that can go wrong with it.
So with platform security, a user can still override the security defect and say, I'm accepting this application and I grant it the rights to send.
Depending how it has been implemented. Some of the implementations allow this in default settings. In some devices, such as the Nokia E-series devices, the default setting has been done so that it is not possible to install unsigned applications.
Unless you explicitly...
Unless you go and change the settings, which is possible as well.
Have you got any one thing you're shouting about at this year's show?
Yeah, be prepared. You know, the good Boy Scout sort of approach. It's better to be prepared than sorry.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
So, the user is the only real vulnerability left. F-Secure at last are taking a common sense, real world approach to this now. Here's their slogan for the show. Good to see. This was the real surprise announcement of the show. This is filming the promo video of Big Screen TV for the LG Joy, another South Korean manufacturer, very similar specifications to the Samsung I showed you earlier. It's perhaps best not to get too excited though. The people I spoke to on the stand didn't speak much English, but it was abundantly clear that they weren't about to release the hardware into anybody's hands yet. They're looking for partners in terms of networks in the different countries, so watch this space for the Joy. And I'll just let this video run to the end of their animation so that you can see all around the device and see the slider in action.
So this is the LG Joy, launched today at the Smartphone Show. This was my very first hands-on slider phone, fairly plasticky but also very light in the hand. I'm just looking for an applications key now. Obviously I can go back to the program group. There we are, there's the application key, and edit the LG Joy.
As you can see here, we've got CoPilot running on the Sony Ericsson M600i. So it's a touchscreen product, and it's giving us turn-by-turn directions with very detailed mapping and information about where we need to go next. So essentially it's exactly like a dedicated navigation system, but it's on your mobile phone.
Yeah, I think you can go into a 3D view, like the...
Of course. This is what we call this the marketing view.
Okay.
Because essentially we're coming at navigation from a driver safety perspective. Okay. So to be honest, you'll find with CoPilot a lot of the time it doesn't even show you a map, apart from when you're within a kilometre or 3/4 of a mile of the turn.
Okay.
But if you do want to change the view, then we can come to view. And we'll go down to use the wheel to go down to 3D view. And here's the 3D view. Okay. So you see the 3D view is giving you a bird's eye perspective of the way ahead. And the reason why I call it the marketing view is because you really need to have a 3D view on the front of the box, otherwise you won't sell any. But I think in reality, we think the driver safety view is the more drivable view.
How does this compare with the competition on other mobile platforms, things like TomTom Navigator? And
of course, yeah. Well, I think one of the things about, I guess fundamentally with CoPilot, is we're using maps from a company called Navtech. And you can see on, you can see here, you've got the very detailed mapping. It's the same mapping as you get in a BMW 7 Series or most of the expensive in-dash systems. And so Navtech have got 500 people whose only job it is to drive roads and measure the roads and see and make sure the roads are in the right place, check the new roads and check the mistakes. So as a result, the roads are very accurate, so the mapping is very, very accurate.
yeah.
It's actually detailed down to house number and full UK postcode.
Okay.
So it's got extremely accurate information. And it's really giving you all the same sort of information as you would get in a dedicated system or a built-in system.
Sure.
So premium mapping, I think, is one of the first important things.
What are its competitors on UIQ3?
In terms of, I guess, well, there's people like Navigor who I believe can support that. But essentially what we're doing with Symbian is we're developing really almost device by device. Because I think it's, we obviously have we develop for the platform, but then we have to test thoroughly on each device. So one of the ways that CoPilot really does differ from other navigation systems is the fact that it has built-in location tracking as standard. And the ability to let other people see where you are as you drive around on the map. So the way that works is you come into live here within CoPilot.
500 yards ahead.
Comes to invites. Now right now we don't have any invites set up. But to set up a new invite, you put a new.
Bear right.
I'll put in say your name. And then I key in your email address. And then I just do done.
Just ahead.
And what that will then do, as soon as I hit done, they'll send you an email with a web link. You just click on that web link and it'll show you exactly where I am on the map, on the internet as I drive around. So you can send messages, you can send new destinations, you can essentially interact with me as I'm driving around. That's built into the product as standard.
You say as a web link, does that mean you've got a map server on your own site, or do you use a public map server like Google?
No, that's right, we have a map server on our own site.
Okay.
So quite simply, you click on that link, it takes you to a website and you can see precisely where I am.
I'm Dushan from Red 5 Labs. We provide a .NET Compact framework for S60, Symbian OS, but S60 at the moment. Just going to take you through a quick demo of Visual Studio 2005. Really create a very basic application in the emulator, run it in the Microsoft Smartphone emulator, and then deploy it to the Symbian OS emulator.
Okay.
So we just create a basic device application, Compact Framework 1, Smartphone 2003, Visual C# is the language. Currently we're supporting Compact Framework 1, but Compact Framework 2 support is on its way as well as UIQ. Change the text. Gonna have a very basic menu system.
Okay. This is pretty rapid application development, folks. There's the code behind the form.
Good IntelliSense support, obviously, with 2005. We'll go back to our smartphone app. So you can use the soft key options, hello world, and it changes the text of the label. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit.
Okay, so this is in
Microsoft Simulator.
Yeah.
So this is the folder where we deploy to.
Okay.
I'm just going to locate the exe. That's the exe.
Yeah.
I'm going to right click.
Yeah.
Send to a pre-configured path in the Symbian emulator.
Okay.
From there we can hop onto the Symbian emulator. We have an app launcher which won't be present in V1 release, but this is just the assist.
Yeah.
Navigate to the app.
Yeah.
Run the app.
Okay.
As you can see, the soft keys have been swapped around to make it more look like S60.
Okay, and if you press options.
Hello world, and then the label text changes. And that's basically it.
And that's binary compatible.
Binary compatible, exactly the same EXE running on both emulators.
And how will users first see this technology? Will they be able to grab it themselves, or will they see it from their companies, or will it appear in new devices?
Well, it would be our intention that, say, the third-party developer writes an application and now wants to distribute it on Windows Mobile, at least on S60, they would actually wrap up their application with the runtime and then distribute it in one sys file.
Okay.
So the user would see almost a transparent installation.
Okay.
The large size means it probably has to be downloaded via the web and then done via USB cable or...
How large is the runtime?
It's probably going to be just under 2 megs.
Okay.
So comparable with the Microsoft implementation, but a bit too big for over the air.
What's the RAM overhead of running the runtime on a Series 60 device?
It's hard to say exactly at this stage because we're just not at V1 yet, and it's going to change a bit for the device.
Okay.
It really depends on how much performance we can extract and the consequent implication on in-memory footprint there. So we don't have exact figures on that yet. This application's very basic usage of web services. It's able to retrieve a stocks information via web service API.
Okay.
Just get some basic graph as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna have to set it to offline mode, unfortunately. There's not a net connection around it.
Okay.
But concept's still the same. So you supply the stock ticker symbol,
Yeah.
grab some performance data, populates a list view,
Yeah.
you get a graph, just that sort of thing.
So there's currently a couple of seconds wait while it launches.
Just a bit of a delay.
Yeah. There we are.
Start again.
Yeah.
Try and remember the numbers, not
Yeah.
like the other time I demoed this.
245.
Thanks.
Okay.
System that allows you to run Windows mobile applications.
Hello everybody, I am Jonas Clausen from Scolar, Sweden. What we have is a unique software for handsets where we can work with the JPEG image in a sort of uncompressed, in the compressed format, I should say. And I can show you a small demo what we can do then, for example, when it comes to zooming. I will now open a picture which is about, I think it's 1 megabyte of JPEG image, which should be about 5 or 6 megapixels.
Okay.
So it's a huge image.
Yeah.
And I will now zoom into the image by pressing 5 here. And you can see how quickly we can move into the image all the way down. And this is something that typically would take a lot longer time, especially where you're this far into the image in a normal imaging editor.
Okay.
And I can also go back.
Okay. Is this
So you can see.
Is this a third program that people can download now, buy and install onto any Series 60 3rd edition device, or is it something you're building into?
Exactly, it's something we're building into the handset manufacturers from the start. It's nothing you can download at the moment. For Symbian it's Series 60 and
UIQ?
UIQ, exactly.
Okay.
UIQ is actually including it from, I mean, in the basic licensing.
Okay.
So it's going to be included in the basic offering for UIQ.
So
any UIQ device in the future, we think will have all these functionalities.
So the user won't have an application called Scolar. It will simply be your technology built into the core applications on the Sony Ericsson smartphones.
Exactly. What the manufacturers usually do is that they add their UI on top of this.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, this UI here. What we see here is, I mean, it's quite basic. It's not very beautiful, and what Nokia or Sony Ericsson or Motorola would typically do is they would put their UI on top of this.
Okay.
But use our sort of functions underneath. I can show you quickly also here. This is quite powerful. We will now browse through all the different filters that we have in this mobile.
Yeah.
You can see how quickly we can apply this in this image.
That's amazing.
It's about 40 filters in less than 10 seconds. You know.
That's an order of magnitude faster than anything else I've seen on S60.
I mean, this actually happens now in this huge picture, so it's very powerful.
Very, very good.
It's almost like seeing, you know, one of these shows where they take one photo every 5 minutes when during the day of the city. And it's like, you see the sun going down and up.
Thank you very much. That's Scolardo.com?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.